Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to your December 2019 tarot card reading. Let's go ahead and just dive right in here. Sagittarius season for you guys is such a special month. Special and maybe a bit weird as well. 12th house activity, Sagittarius in the 12th. Plus the sun is also making a square to Neptune like as we speak. So you could be experiencing a drain on your vital energy. That's very, very common. I'm saying all of this because I'm looking at the cards that came out for you and I'm like, okay, it is so important for Capricorn to maintain this moral high ground that really was the theme of last month's reading, excuse me. So this is a continuation of the story for sure, because I have a feeling that and I said this last month, like people's house of cards has been crumbling down. And I think you're going to continue seeing that as the month goes on and as we make our way into Capricorn season. Now, the card that came out that signifies you specifically, Capricorn, is the Knight of Coins. So the Knight of Coins is really about the day-to-day. So as much as I would love to say, like, let's set the big dream, let's think about the big stuff, we want to say that because it's Sagittarius season, right? But Jupiter just entered into your sign, and for Jupiter to be in a Saturnian ruled sign, it's, it's okay, yes, we can definitely accomplish the big goals, but Saturn comes in and says, yeah, but you got to do it the right way and you got to do it with structure. The Knight of Coins is this is a Virgo energy actually, right? So when we think of Virgo, we think of like checking the emails and the little paperwork and, making sure the kids get dropped off on time and making sure the groceries are done and the laundry's done and making sure people get places where they need to be. And it's not about the whole, like eating the whole elephant all at once. This is a one bite at a time kind of energy. And I think some of you are being forced to live life on a day-to-day because maybe life is throwing you things so randomly and so unexpectedly. I'm kind of like laughing a little bit because I think life is very unpredictable right now, especially for a Capricorn, right? It is very unpredictable. And there can be things coming out of the woodwork and just smack you across the face. And you're like, oh my God, like where the hell did that come from? And you just have to deal with it. And you just deal with it, you do it, and you make your way through it. And this is the perfect energy with which to do it. Now, the next card I pulled was a Major Arcana card that represented your environment. Now, this is the best environment card we possibly could have asked for because it's an environment of temperance. So these are actually very moderate energies, both of these. They're not huge, heavy hitters coming in, talking a big game. They're just like chill. Like both of these are very chill. Like, you know what you got to do, you have to just do it. And it's probably not in anybody's best interest to have all these feelings about it, right? You got to do it. You don't have to have any feelings about it whatsoever. As we make our way through the reading, you'll see that I'm getting the King of Swords in the very center of the reading. And I think that's you, right? Coming in, like not having any feelings about it. And you just are much more task oriented, which again is weird because it's 12th house. It's Sagittarius season. We would like to think that it's all this whole Jupiterian, big picture, full understanding, philosophical thing. But what I'm sensing for you is that that's what other people are doing. You are being forced to stay grounded, and it's your grounded nature right now that is you're going to be ahead of the game in 2020 because of how grounded you're kind of being forced to be right now. So don't stress out if you feel stuck in any way, shape, or form, because the people who are talking a big game, like these are the people who are talking a big game right now, who are trying to do the whole enchilada because they just simply don't have the resources, whether it's emotional resources, financial, intellectual, perhaps, they just simply don't have what it takes. You know that you can do what it takes. And I think in a way, these energies are kind of feeding off of each other because you're actually looking in at that person. And this is probably the person whose house of cards is like crumbling down and everything that they're trying to do is just like dissolving right before their eyes. And I say that especially because what's underneath this card is the Seven of Cups. So this particular individual in your life has absolutely no no solidity whatsoever. This could be a friend, and maybe there's a message here for you to just kind of be there for them. The alignment's actually like this, for you to just kind of be there for them. For those of you, this could be an ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, and they just kind of worked themselves up into a tizzy. And, I don't necessarily know that you're going to be there in a way of like giving them money or giving them even really time or attention, maybe compassion. But it's not your job to make sure that anyone isn't living in a state of delusion, right? That's not your job. So as much as you would like to be the very realistic Capricorn and like set everybody straight, people are not going to be having it this month for you. And if you try to do that, it's going to backfire in some way, shape, or form, right? You can only respond. I see this Knight of Coins as being very receptive of just like, okay, well, you give me something to work with and then I'll work with it. But I'm not going to try to go out and like be a trailblazer this month. We'll leave that for next year sometime. Like right now, I'm just gonna take what the world gives me and I'm just gonna, take it on my own. It really, really is. Like I promise you, this grounded nature of the Four of Coins coming out right now, it's such a stark contrast. The Four of Coins is winning big time. This guy seems to be drowning a little bit, right? He seems to be drowning. Maybe drowning in choices, maybe drowning in options. I think some of you might relate a little bit to this guy. You might relate, and the best solution that I have for you is just like put it on hold. Okay, that's the best solution that I have. Put it on hold because just the confidence isn't there, the environment isn't ripe. This is not a workhorse environment. This is a chill, zen, let's relax, let's take everything in moderation. One day at a time. You can still work toward the goals, but you don't have to eat the whole elephant all at once. The Four of Coins is like stick to your guns. I think really like that moral message from last month is coming on and saying, look, Capricorn, you know what's right. You know what's right for you. You know what's right for the greater good in the situation. And I say hold your ground. People are probably going to be super pissed with Capricorn right now because one, they're not budging, and two, because they know they're right. And that's such a Capricorn thing, right? Like Capricorn is always freaking right. And it's so annoying to people, but you're right. Like who can argue really? So people may be getting triggered by your rigidity, but that's really not your problem. It's not your cross to bear, okay? And I think that you are, you're there to help, but only really for people who want to help. See, or who want your help, rather. See, the Wheel of Fortune came out, and this came out right next to the Four of Coins, which suggests that your greatest source of expansion with the Jupiterian energy, right? All year we have Jupiter in Capricorn now. So thank God, right? Because I feel like Jupiter has been a little suffocated the past few years, really since like Jupiter was in Libra, right? Libra went through Scorpio, went through Sagittarius, and like it's been a little bit choked by some other astrological events that have been going on. And I hope and I feel that Jupiter in Capricorn really unleashes these successful beasts within us, within each of us on an individual scale. And it is your wherewithal, it is your ability to stand firm and to stay close. It's not even to what you believe, it's what's right. And when I say what's right, I don't mean this is not like a moral relativism game. Like usually there are very clear things of what's right and wrong, and we can sit here and do the political game all day long, but when it really comes down to the nitty-gritty of an issue, usually there is one truth, okay? And I think that's what you're sticking to. And because you do, you open yourself up to the Jupiterian abundance here. And it's because of this Wheel of Fortune that comes out in the very first row of cards that what's underneath it is possible, which is the Magician. I'm going out of order here. You'll see the cards when I put the camera down. Here's the Magician. See, this is you making it happen, though. I'm not saying that you're being lazy. I'm not saying you're not going to work and doing stuff, because you're definitely working. But it's really more, it's a different kind of work. Normally Saturn, like Saturn ruled people, strong Saturnian individuals. They're the ones at the office at 6 a.m. They work till 6 p.m. and then they still go home and do like all these things, and then they're at bed by midnight to wake up and do it all over again. That's not the kind of work we're talking about here. This is the smart work where maybe you work 5 hours less per day, right? But you get so much more done. That's the kind of work we're talking about. And because of that level of productivity, the magician, it's sparking all the time. Boom, here's a new idea. Boom, here's a new initiative. Boom, here's a new job opportunity. Here's another love opportunity. Here's another connection. Here's another person. Here's another financial opportunity. Whatever it is, boom, 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 boom. This magician triggering and firing off all around you, opening up that wheel of fortune even that much more. And for like there, it's called the Wheel of Fortune for a reason. Fortune, good luck, good fortune, good things to come. You know what I mean? Like it's a good omen to receive the Wheel of Fortune. Probably one of the best. I would say Wheel of Fortune and the Sun, right? Two of the best cards to get in a tarot card reading. Now, I already talked about the Seven of Cups coming out underneath the King of Coins reverse. So let's just quickly remind you. And then right next to the Seven of Cups, we have the King of Swords. This is you directly in the center of the reading. This is what I mean by keeping your emotions out of it. And I'm sure you're connected to this person in some emotional capacity. You care about this person, you love this person, maybe you're actually in a relationship with this person. Maybe this person is someone you see every single day. But they're drowning a little bit, and you need to be the rock. You know, you need to be the rock. And I don't mean to be the safe place for them to like come and get a few gulps of air before they're like right back down in the rapids. And you know, it's not like, it's the kind of brutal truth, the blunt Capricorn honesty where you kind of need to be. And that doesn't make you warm and fuzzy and cuddly, and that's not going to make you everybody's best friend, but they'll thank you in the long run for it. And you, because of this rigidity that everyone is going to hate, will benefit a lot. All right? I see no sugarcoating here at all, right? There is no sugarcoating. And it's not even like harshness towards you. It's like how you're going to be harsh toward other people. Not mean and not revengeful or anything like that. It's like helpful stuff. Now, this is coming out under this card here, and I can't help but wonder, pulling out my little Carrie Bradshaw stuff, I couldn't help but wonder if this person that you're dealing with is feeling debilitated by some kind of choice. And I said that about having options up here, but there's really probably two hard and fast choices that this person is really looking at. This could be an element of you as well. Do I kind of keep this person around or do I not? Do I keep this job opportunity? Do I stay at this company? This might not be a person, guys. This might be your company, right? This might be where you work in an environment where no one knows what the heck is going on. There's all sorts of office politics, and maybe there's some greed or corruption going on in upper management, that kind of stuff, right? You might be working in a place like that. So the Two of Swords could apply to you. And like, it's not that hard. The Two of Swords is never really a hard choice, because when you're faced at some kind of a crossroads, normally the best solution is to just like close your eyes. That's why she's wearing a blindfold, right? To just really close your eyes and feel your way through this one. Now, I'm not saying feel as in like be emotional about it. I'm saying like use your intuition. This is a card of restoring peace. And the moon in the sky there is a symbol of our intuitive nature, of our deep feminine nature. And by using the femininity within ourselves, not the cold, hard, and fast logic that we're so, kind of used to using, it's about the curviness of nature, the curviness of your gut, the curviness of your intuition. Okay, and it's hard to tell someone that. If you are someone who's trying to counsel someone or trying to help someone or trying to like piece some puzzle pieces together for someone else, you can't make them feel at peace. And I think in a way their lack of peace is kind of rubbing off on you and causing you to not be at peace too. But remember, your environment was all about temperance. Some of you, maybe this is more of a reverse. I don't do reversals for the first two cards. I'm keeping them all upright. But for some of you, you may feel like your environment actually is in a state of turbulence. Okay? But it is with the power of temperance and moderation and that Zen super chill factor that you're going to come to some kind of resolution. And it can be fast. I don't see this being a huge long-term kind of deal. It started kind of last month, most likely. It's probably hitting a head this month or later on in January. And, you know, it's just got to come to resolution on its own. I just simply don't know that there's a lot that you can do other than just kind of dealing with the stuff as it comes your way, because you can't make someone be at peace. You can't make decisions for other people. You can't force them to see the right way, quote unquote, the right way. And everyone just has to do this on their own. See, when I say you're not sugarcoating anything, this is what I mean. 10 of Cups reversed directly under you. When I say rigidity, I mean like, look, right? You could just kind of see in these first two cards alone, and then without it's not that you're not being optimistic. That's not what this means. It's not that you're not being optimistic because you have a lot of reasons to be optimistic. It's that you're not... You're not just trying to make people feel better for the sake of making them feel better. And you're certainly not trying to do that to yourself. It's all very like stoic. The King of Swords, he is such a stoic. Like nothing brings him up too high, nothing brings him down too low. He's just kind of always on that line. And he'll do a little of this, but he's not like this. And he enjoys the happy times and he lives in the moment, but when things go bad, he's like, okay, yeah, it's fine, no problem. Like, I know it's going to balance out. He's a firm believer in the power of universal adjustment, and he lives his life accordingly, So you're not trying to compensate for this person's drowning by trying to get them to an adjustment, by telling them all the fluffy things that they want to hear. And if you're relating a little bit more to this King of Coins, don't expect anyone to tell you what you want to hear. No one's going to. No one's going to tell you what you want to hear. So this is a time when someone needs to step into their absolute accountability. Last card on the 9-card block is the 9 of Coins. So you have to step into your accountability. You have to be responsible for your own emotions and how you handle things and how you unleash on people or don't. And that's it. I think you're in a full state of really, really feeling like I'm ready for this Wheel of Fortune, like for real. And I think you've been working to manifest this Wheel of Fortune for a very long time. Going like this. You've been working to manifest this Wheel of Fortune for a very long time. And I think on some level it's been piecing itself together, one thing after the next, and after every success or every victory, and after every failure, which really it's not really a failure, but what it is something that wasn't meant for you getting out of the way. So either way, there's a very, very clear path, and will continue to get more and more clear as the year finishes out and as we make our way into Capricorn season. Actually, the year really moving through Pisces season. I'm, I guess, more talking about the astrological year. As we move through the end of the astrological year, these things will all be closed out more readily. But you have all indications here are pointing to a very strong sense of confidence, a very strong sense of empowerment, and feeling more and more confident that what that you're doing is best for you. Okay, that may or may not involve someone else. Maybe on some level there was hope that it would involve someone, But now I think Capricorn is like, I'm really okay to go it on my own, or I'm okay to branch off, or I'm okay to go work at another company, or to go find a new relationship. And this is exactly what you're going to need, because who this person is, or what this situation is coming into like an absolute focus, right? Which is I think like a sigh of relief. A lot of Capricorns like, oh, thank God, I'm starting to see it for what it really is. And you're free to move forward. You're free to be happy. You're free to go get married. You're free to fall in love. You're free to go make all that money, you know, and you're just free. So everything that has been kind of consolidating and kind of like clumping together is starting piece by piece to disintegrate. So it's going to be really exciting for some of you as you step into this Wheel of Fortune energy. So let's go ahead and put the camera down so you can see the cards. So I'm not holding them up in weird, awkward ways. So you can see the cards, and we'll continue to plot the cards for the comprehensive. Thanks. Okay, Capricorn. So let's take a look with a couple oracle cards, a little bit more information about this Knight of Pentacles. Let's get more of a feeling of who this guy is and what he's got going on. Really, it's you, right? Really, it's you. Emotional withdrawal. What did I say? Right? This is not an emotional month. You may feel emotional and have emotions, but in all honesty, it's not a good time. People just, and it might be like other people are being so overly emotional that you're like countering that. Like you seem to be the balance for a lot of people. And it's odd that I'm saying that, because normally 12th house activity affects you guys, but I think you're kind of on the outside of this glass case for some reason. Ooh, yang. I rarely get the yang card, as in yin yang, which is indicative of the masculine energy and the creative energy, number one. It's like 2 magician cards, really, is kind of what it is. Now, I was talking about receiving at this time, right? To receive. That's just like with life. But the yang energy, the magician, the alchemical energy is still like encouraging you to really keep fighting for the big picture stuff, which I know that earlier in the year, especially like Virgo, Libra, Scorpio seasons, we had these opportunities to really set forth goals. And I think you know what those goals are now, or at least you have a better idea. So the yang energy is very much about going after it. And as a cardinal energy with Jupiter in there, with Venus in there, I think this is just kind of a natural way of being for Capricorn right now. Okay? So let's start pulling the clarifiers. I'm going to start by pulling a couple clarifiers for the Knight of Coins. I like the yang energy. I like the masculine energy because it's very explorative. You can kind of think of like a phallic-shaped rocket ship, right? Traveling through space, exploring, making its way into a darkness, making its way into an unknown, and yet feeling just like overall really excited about it. Okay, a lot of earth energy coming out for you. And I like the balance of the cups with the balance of the scales here. What did I say? You really are acting as the balancing act for a lot of people. Wonderful. King of Wands. You know, this came out for the Sagittarius reading as well, which is not a surprise given that it's your 12th house. And he's kind of my disruptor of the tarot. And I think your life is like you're disrupting your own life. You're disrupting your own patterns. Which is really beautiful. Ooh, 9 of Coins twice. Which signifies that you really do need to have grounding when dealing with this particular individual, and to maybe even step into independence. This is a card of, you know, some of you are dealing with a really difficult relationship. It's probably time for you to step on, you know, or to move on. I'm sorry, to step off and just start saying, you know what, this isn't for me. It's time for me to move on. I'm going to pull one more for that. Interesting that it's fire season, but there's so much earth energy in this guy right now. It's like ridiculous. feelings. For those of you who don't know, these are the cards that we're going to talk about in the comprehensive. The link will be down in the description box down below. We'll talk for another like 20 to 25 minutes about these cards. Okay, so I'm just pulling them out so you can see them. Okay. The problem is the caring about this person or this thing, right? It's not to say you don't care. Someone is trying to be all in their feelings and you are just not about it. Just not about it. Like, I just don't think you have the capacity to like really listen to anybody's BS right now. And again, it doesn't have to be your lover. Like, if your relationship is great, this can be about something totally different. It could be a relationship with a friend or with parents or whatever. And there's the Capricorn card directly in the center. Okay, boom, the Hierophant. I'd say the Hierophant is like the loudest card that's come out so far. Much more than the Temperance card over here. Ooh, a lot of really, really great things. I'm super excited for you. Let's pull out a couple for the Temperance card. Wow, amazing. Ooh, and then the Chariot at the very bottom of the deck. Wow, a lot of majors. Okay, wonderful. So let's go ahead and we'll kind of leave you with that. If you want to join and continue the story, you're welcome. Again, the link will be in the description box. So if not, then I wish you guys absolutely nothing but the best for this Sagittarius season, and we will see you next month for your season. Thanks. Bye-bye.